So I prayed over this room before I started this video, and I prayed over my mouth. I prayed over my tongue that I say the things that I need to say, that it reaches who it needs to reach, because I don't do this for the views. I don't do this for likes. Um, I do this to share my experiences in hopes that it helps somebody, you know. Um, so today I'm going to be talking about my journey with celibacy, um, and how it started, how it's going, and everything in between. So let's go ahead and get into it. What made me start this journey was I was in a really bad place. I was in a really bad place. And I was dealing with someone, again, somebody who from my past, who came back, and I gave them a chance like a dummy, and they wreaked havoc in my life in a really short span of time. And I hit a low. Like, they didn't break my heart or anything, but they put me in a couple positions that got me in some trouble. And I really was depressed. And I started asking myself, like, how did I get here? And I just really wanted God. So I started my celibacy journey in 2021, the end of 2021. So, like, I've been on and off with it before. Like, this isn't my first time being celibate. But it's the first time that God's behind it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, before, my why wasn't big enough. I was doing it for other reasons and it wouldn't stick. It got to a point where I was just in my room by myself crying and just hurting and just tired. And I'm just like, God, I'm ready to come home. Like, I'm ready to come home. I want to come home. And I thought about the last time I was happy. I thought about the last time that I was content. I thought about the last time that I felt real joy. And it was years ago. I was going to church. I was going to Bible study. I was fasting. I was praying. I was reading. I had money in my pocket. I was living for God. I was seeking God. I was seeking Him with all my heart, mind, and soul. And I realized, like, in that moment, it clicked. Like, I'm going through this because He's absent in my life right now. I'm putting sex and relationships over Him. I'm seeking love from men and not love from Him. And the only love that's going to give me the satisfaction I need, or that's going to make me feel complete, that's going to make me feel whole, is Him. It's Him. Like, I have not felt any other love from anyone on this earth, not even my mother or my father, that I have felt with Jesus. Really, no cap. No cap. And a lot of you guys know me in real life. Y'all know me in real life. I'm not capping. I have not felt a love greater than this. And I probably never will. Even the husband that He sends to me after this won't love me anymore. Like, will not love me like He does. Period. It's been hard. Giving up sex wasn't that hard. Giving up masturbation was hard. I gave up sex and masturbation. And I gave up the lifestyle that came with it. So it wasn't just like, oh, I gave up sex and I gave up masturbation, but I was still out here partying. I was still out here drinking. I was still out here dating. Like, no, I gave up partying. I gave up masturbation. I gave up friends that came with that lifestyle. So I was in isolation for a while and doing a lot of work and spending a lot of time with God and going back to church and all other types of things. I had to, like, distance myself because I knew if I come around these people, these are the type of conversations that we're going to have. These conversations are not fruitful. I can't entertain those types of conversations. When you change your life and you turn away from things, like, there's just certain things that you can't entertain anymore. Even like things that seem harmless, even things that seem so small. And it's kind of like if you're an alcoholic, you're not going to be hanging around a bunch of drunk people if you're trying to get sober. If you're like gonna be tempted to drink. If you go to a club, you're not gonna go celebrate your friend's birthday at the club that has a bar in it. Um, if you have a friend that always making you run to the liquor store, you're not about to go over there because you know they're gonna ask you to go to the liquor store. Like, it's just certain stuff that it's just certain things that you just gotta step away from. Like, I'm not saying be abstinent and cut off all your friends, but like, if you know you have a bunch of friends that are consumed with sex, yeah, you're gonna have to distance yourself. I have always been very intuitive, even when I was a child, into my adulthood. Even now, I'm very, very intuitive. And when I started having sex, I was not enjoying my sexual experiences. I cannot pinpoint exactly what it was that I did not enjoy about sex, but I was not enjoying it. But I still was doing it because I enjoyed being intimate with another person. Like, I didn't actually enjoy the sex, but I enjoyed being with that person, doing an activity with that person. Um, and at that time, I saw sex as an act of love. So him wanting to have sex with me, to me, was saying, you love me. You know what I'm saying? So that was my validation from that. But did I actually enjoy sex? No. No. Like, I would do it just to feel, I would do it to feel loved, but wouldn't actually enjoy it. That's crazy. And even now, I wholeheartedly don't believe that I've ever been touched by a man who loved me, honored me, respected my mind, body, or spirit. And that is heartbreaking. So it wasn't easy. I mean, it wasn't hard for me to give it up because I wasn't enjoying it anyway. I wasn't enjoying it anyway. My spirit was not in agreement with it anyway. So it wasn't hard for me to turn away from it. The hardest part about celibacy for me is the loneliness. I get really, really lonely sometimes. It comes in waves. It's not like consistent where I'm always lonely. But there's some days where I just be really wishing I had somebody to just sit and just drink tea and chat it up with. And, you know, spend time with, go on dates with. And it gets really lonely. But the loneliness doesn't bother me the way it probably would have bothered me 2 years ago, because now I have Jesus and I can literally feel him throughout the day, and the Holy Spirit throughout the day. It's not even just like a periodical thing. I just know he's always there. So I know I'm not alone, but I do still miss companionship and spending time with other human beings, you know, and talking to other human beings. My phone never rings. Like, the people I talk to weekly are Rochelle, my best friends Rochelle and Tatiana, and my friend Heidi, Nakaira. Like, I don't really go out as much as I used to. I don't really drink. Like, I don't go out on dates. I don't, like, I used to be on dating apps. Like, I'm not on dating apps anymore. I don't really like entertain guys at all. Like, I literally took this time to build my relationship with Christ. Like, I really just told myself I'm not dating, I'm not having sex. I literally had to work on myself. So I'm not trying to date. Like, even though I miss companionship, that's not something I'm seeking. And so I have to be in isolation right now. But because I'm working on my relationship with Christ, I'm working on myself, I'm healing myself, I'm being delivered, you know, I have to take this time to myself. I look forward to church every Sunday. Like, that is the highlight of my week, is church on Sundays, or any possible family time that I spend with my kids outside the house. Like, seriously, because I really don't go anywhere or do anything. The thing that does like concern me is being single and being like celibate and not masturbating for so long that I've become like really, really awkward socially and in the bedroom. Like, when I finally do get married, like, that's what I be thinking, like, dang, am I gonna be all weird and stuff when I finally do get married and have sex? And am he gonna be looking at me like, you a lame? I'm be like, I used to be a freak back in the day though. Like, I don't know. Like, it just be, I don't know. I didn't want to waste any more time with anyone. You know, I wanted to be married. Like, I'm not for the streets. Never been for the streets. And I wanted a husband. I wanted a family. I wanted a house. I wanted the dog. But I wanted to be founded like God, Jesus to be our foundation. You know, I want that to be what me and my family hold on to. The light that we seek. You know, I need me a husband that's not afraid to fight in the spirit on my behalf. You know, I need me a husband that's not afraid to lead me in prayer. You know, I can't be the only person in the house fighting in the spirit, you know, keeping my family covered. We all need to be some prayer warriors up in here. And I really desired that. You know, my heart desires that. God knows my heart, so he knows. And I know when that time comes that he will send that. But that was also another reason that I turned away from it, because it's like, I don't want to waste any more time giving myself to people who don't respect me, who don't love me, won't cherish me or honor me, who are just going to toss me to the side when they're done, or it's not going to work out and I'm going to leave the relationship with a bunch of emotional baggage for another man to carry. I don't want anybody else to touch me. I want the next person to touch me to be my husband, period. Like, and if I don't get married, ain't nobody about to touch me. It changed the way that I look at men. Like, I don't look at them in a lustful way anymore. I'm more intrigued by what a man has to say, how he lives his life, how he treats people, how he treats people he doesn't know and people he does know. You know, what his career is like, what is he passionate about? What is his relationship with God like? What is his walk with Christ like? You know, those are the things. Does he bear fruit? Those are the things that I'm more attracted to. You know, before I used to see a man's physical build and be like, oh yeah, I like him. Ain't heard not a damn word come out his mouth. Don't know what he's about. Don't know where he's from. Don't know nothing about him. But I like him. Delusion. That's what it was. Delusion. Love that I have this clarity now, so that I know when I do date, it's easier to weed people out. Usually when I used to be in relationships, I would be blind to the things that I needed to see because I was lusting after them or they were lusting after me. And I was so caught up in the anticipation and the desire and all those things that I was ignoring flags, that I couldn't see that, hey, we're not really compatible. You know, we don't really want the same things. We just really feel strongly for each other. But I couldn't see that because I was blind. We get so caught up like in our hormones and our emotions that we don't even realize, like, long term, this is not gonna work. Like, we are not gonna work long term. But like, those emotions like keep a lot of things going that shouldn't be going, if you feel what I'm saying. Like, and being abstinent allows me to have that clarity, you know, allow me to get the weeds out the garden, you know what I'm saying? And avoid that type of stuff. Being celibate in 2022 is so difficult because everything is so normalized now. We have the sexual liberation movement, you know, where women are just kind of like, have sex with who you want, when you want, however you want. And then we have like just regular fornication. And then we have women who are like kind of like pushing to have children and start families without a ring, and people who just full blown out are kind of like just abandoning the whole concept of marriage. And there's sex everywhere. They're pushing sex on everybody in these shows, in our music, on the internet. It's everywhere. And it's just like things like abstinence, things like kingdom marriages are kind of like corny, not really talked about, not broadcasted, not really pushed. Like, and if it is, like, you don't really see too much of it, which is why I really wanted to make this video. You know, once God started showing me how much I meant to him and I was able to feel it, and forgive myself, you know, for the things and mistakes I made in the past, I was able to start carrying myself like a child of God. I was able to start carrying myself like I'm somebody's wife. I walk around like I got a ring on my finger already. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no ring on my finger, but it's finna be. I ain't got no man, but I'm somebody wifey. But don't get this confused for manifesting, because we don't do that. We be prayer. I still struggle with lust. Like, I don't want people to watch this video and just think, oh, if you're celibate, like all that's gonna go away. Like, no, I still struggle with like lustful thoughts every now and again. I kind of gotta like swat them away like flies, but it's not as intense as it used to be. I also struggle like during ovulation. Like ovulation time is the devil, child. It is so nerve wracking. Like I know that if I'm really, 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 really desiring sex or having lustful thoughts, I'm probably ovulating. Like probably ovulating. I was in Target the other day and I was looking at baby clothes and I had just this really, really deep desire to be impregnated. Okay. Like I really wanted a baby. I really wanted that. And I got in my car like, why am I having these thoughts of why do I feel this way? Check my calendar and I was ovulating. Like your hormones will really have you thinking that you want something that you don't want. Because I do not want no baby right now. Like if it wasn't for Jesus, I wouldn't have a real reason to change. You know what I'm saying? Because I already didn't love myself. I already didn't love myself. So me being celibate or abstaining from sex because I wanted to practice a form of self-love wouldn't have really been solid for me because I didn't love myself. I didn't love myself. And for me, someone like me who struggled with self-love, that's not a good enough reason to turn away from sin. You know what I'm saying? Like I was not a good enough reason to turn away from sin. You know, without Jesus and without God and without my Bible and learning the truth and coming into my truth and walking that walk, I would have never been able to turn away from these things. You know, I wouldn't have been strong enough, especially masturbation. That is a whole other video that I will make probably right after this one. If you're on this journey, you know, I applaud you. You know, keep going. You know, we got to stick together. We got to keep this going. I hope we inspire other people to do it because it really is such a rewarding experience. And if you are thinking about doing it, just make sure that your why is bigger than you. Make sure that your why is going to keep you going even on the days that you feel like you want to fold. And I just really hope you guys enjoyed my little video on abstinence. I try to keep it short and to the point because I know all of our attention spans are trash now that we be spending a lot of our time on TikTok. But if you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. I really do have more content to come, and I promise I'm not going to stay away for more than a month this time. I had a lot going on, but I'm back and I'm here to stay.